Welcome everyone to Cludd's one-on-one series. We are in our fifth one-on-one session with Cludd, and I'm excited to get into this one as we are going to uncover a little bit about Cludd's backstory, that of which Saul does not fully know yet. So I have Saul with me today. Saul, why don't you introduce yourself, Cludd, and give a little information about what Cludd is feeling right now, being in the Feywild, or should I say being back in the Feywild?
Hi, I'm Saul. I play Cludd, Warforged Artificer. Goes by any pronouns, and typically works as a researcher in the University of Andorra. These days, though, they're definitely being a sort of agent of section, sort of. Well, I say sort of. That's kind of who they are. It's in their code at this point. Well, it's feeling a little bit like confused at being back in the Feywild, because obviously, after being asleep for over 1,000 years, your memory gets a little bit rough. So it feels surreal, but all the more interesting.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing. To give you all some information, the party has just traveled into the Feywild through a manhole cover that was in the gaming district of Evermore. At the moment, this is a point where Cludd is getting hit with memories. As if being in this geographical location has flipped a switch and allowed for backlogged memories to be activated once more. All right, Cludd, are you ready for the first memory?
I believe so.
Okay. A time before the convergence of things, you are standing amongst your fellow constructs, the other Warforged that make up the Cyberized Legionary Unit called the Force. Each of you all are glowing faintly with a silver aura. You're marching in perfect formation in the Feywild through a lush, radiant forest that is filled with towering silver-leafed trees. The light, of which there is a light from the sun, is warm and soothing. You reach your hand onto your forearm, activating an ethereal-like compass, navigating for your team. I'd like you to give me a perception check, please. That which you are also muted, by the way.
Oops. I will do some GM rolls on Roll20.
Okay.
Perception, right?
Correct.
1d20 plus 3. That is a 10.
Okay. All right. With the 10, you don't see anything specific. You do see the Feywild itself. You see something flitting through the trees. You can't sense exactly what it is. You call out to alert your team. And continue to look for this creature. And as your team turns and starts navigating through the trees, you come across fey creatures that were hiding in bushes staring at you. The memory fades. You find yourself in a new place, a river this time, in the Feywild. Translucent water winds through a glade. Your team sets up a machine at the river's edge. It causes the water to ripple. But also, you see a cascading wave of light. You look around the area as you hear a whispering chorus of voices. It is almost hovering over the river. You hear secrets. One of your other companions leans in to the water, trying to listen in, as these are but mere whispers. And out of nowhere, watery tendrils burst through and grab onto them. A radiant light appears under the water. And releases the grasp of your friend. Any thoughts, questions, comments so far?
Was there a vague shape of the thing that was floating through the trees? Was it like small? Was it big?
There was no shape, just sound, as if the wind was carrying the whisper itself.
God, so strange. And I'm assuming the whispering was far too quiet, hence why a companion was leaning in.
All right. The next memory. As you continued through the Feywild, you were setting up another machine. But something interrupts you. A swarm of winged fey creatures, once bright ones, now twisted by shadow. Your arm blade hums with energy. Something you have not seen before. You know that you can create your, shapeshift your arm and create like a blade out of it. But this is humming with like a magical energy. You sense it can do force damage. You use it to batter through them, calling out information and positioning of these creatures. The rest of your team falls into formation their arm blades also now glowing and humming with energy. From the swarm appears an archfey, a larger figure than these smaller fey creatures. This one is holding almost like a dark orb and hurls it towards your team. One of the others in the group deflects it. The next memory you and your team this time are not outside. You are in a cavern filled with softly glowing mushrooms of all different types. You're marking the walls with runes, enchantments meant to keep the darkness at bay. One of the constructs in your team specializes in enchantment magic and has taught you all how to draw these runes. That of which you now know and remember and can replicate. One of the runes flickers, and a darkness creeping in, almost like bubbling mold, begins to grow from it. You carve the rune again, overriding the corrupted enchantment with a flash of bright light. We have now completed 4 memories. Any questions thus far?
What machines were they setting up?
They looked to be columns where there are several kind of like attachments on the sides. There's a variety of different tubing wires sticking out. You see that there's one main sort of point that comes from the center, and I would like for you to give me a history check.
I love a good history check. 1d20 plus. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. What you know is that this machine is meant to help the material plane. It has... let me see. Sorry, I'm looking which type of magic.
Is that right?
It's a type of transmutation magic.
So probably used to help the convergence happen, I'm assuming. Is my guess.
Also has a bit of abjuration magic. You know that there is a feature that scans and takes readings from its surrounding areas. I'd also like for you to roll. Let's do Arcana.
That was almost a public roll. 1d20 plus 9, because I'm so smart. That is a 21.
Okay. Cludd being an artificer and knowing how machines work, you have been one of the main figures installing these machines. After some time, you have figured out there is a teleportation essence. It's not exactly teleportation, but something. But it does have the capability of transporting something. You're not exactly sure what.
Interesting. That's... not sure how I feel about that, to be quite honest.
Okay. The next memory. The Force is standing before an archway. And I will put this picture into your character channel.
Oh, you're not gonna scare everyone?
Would you like me to?
It'd be kind of funny.
I will put it into your character channel and you can decide. Okay, that's not right. I just moved it. Where did it go? It's here. Okay, hang on. Oh, it's here. Okay. Would you like me to post it for everyone?
Yeah, I think it'd be funny.
Okay. You know, and you've been warned about this figure. This is Velthariel, the Thorned Prince. He is tall. a little androgynous, very pale, and has these black armor that comes out in thorns. There are crimson roses sewn in to the armor. The thorns coil around in a protective sort of barrier, making like a visual of like ribs and things as well. You know that Fey creatures are rather tricky, and you have been cautioned when speaking with them. A few things. To never give them your name is very important. And if you make any deals, you should be very careful that they may have hidden agendas. This is the Archfey that threw the dark orb towards your group with a swarm of Fey creatures. He stands before you. You have all been defeated in battle. Weak. All very, very low in health. But he stops. He offers you a pact.
Mhm.
How interesting my day has been, thanks to you. But I bore of such combat. I will allow you passage, if you can appease me. I demand a song.
The rest of your group is confused. They are not sure how to react. What would you like to do?
Oh boy. um. Cludd will respond with a song, and
Okay.
kind of like coughing a little bit. What kind of song?
He did not elaborate.
Oh. This is tricky. Because what would Cludd do? That's the real question, not what I would do.
You knowing Cludd and the rest of your team, Cludd has a uniqueness to them, especially in terms of personality. The rest are more automated, robotic, whereas Cludd has an element of humanity.
Yeah.
You all
I th-
function together as a team. There is not necessarily a leader. But in many situations where directives are not exactly clear, Cludd does take the lead due to their unique coding.
Nothing harmful can come from this song, right?
Well, Cludd is
Allegedly.
still alive now.
Yeah. So I feel like Cludd would probably, there's one big song that Cludd would know, and that would be like the theme of like Andorra, their national song anthem.
Okay.
So they probably, very weakly try get the rest of the force to, stand up and basically ask of them to sing the Andorran theme with the usual fist to the chest.
The rest of your tribes, they mostly speak in like monotones. So they kind of try to like, and it's not really going very well. However, your performance is a little different, and I'm gonna actually have you make a performance check.
My -1 better do me good. Oof. 18.
18. Okay. You carry them through. Your performance. You put every ounce of I guess excitement into this as you can in order to appease this archfey.
Oh, that was rather lovely. How nice. I have not heard such a tune before. Aha, now, a riddle. Perhaps. Is that all right?
Okay. Yeah, lay on. Cludd kind of just relaxes their arm.
The more of this there is, the less you see. What is it?
And if needed, you can make an intelligence check.
More of this there is, the less you see.
The rest of your Warforged are like looking around. I don't understand. I don't understand. Cannot compute.
Oh. The more of this there is, the less you see. I will do an intelligence
And I'll give
check.
you just a random hint.
That is a natural 20.
Okay. You know that, especially with the theme of this campaign, shadow and darkness is a very prominent feature.
it could be light then. The more light there is, the less kind of shadows that are drawn in. And then when, light gets dimmer, shadows are quite big.
Is that your answer?
I'm going to say yes, because it's the best thing I can think of just then.
Okay.
I suppose there are multiple answers. It isn't the one I was thinking. However, it has amused me. I like it. Construct of steel and silver. You carry the weight of any paths. I desire your choice. Your spark of decision. I require a memory. And once given, you will lose. And be unable to remember it. It must be a precious one. And once told, you may pass freely.
Ooh. That's definitely an ask.
Side question, did you hear that crack?
I did not.
Okay. It was rather loud.
An important memory that has a lot of meaning to it.
Now we have a couple options.
Mm-hmm.
You can say yes and give a memory of your choosing, or I can provide you with one. Or you say a memory and it is not revealed on what the memory is. As Cludd loses all, memory of it.
Could Cludd tell the memory of them waking up for the first time?
If that's your choice.
I would like it to be my choice.
As you tell the memory, this changes the current campaign. As one of the one-on-one sessions, I believe it was the first session. It did occur, however, Cludd has no memory. It ceases to exist in Cludd's mind. Valthariel laughs as you were describing Cludd standing up for the first time and hopping on one foot and the other foot and doing all of these sort of things.
How amusing! Oh, I love it. Is this what you did when you were awakened for the first time?
Is this what I wanted?
And as he asks if this is what you all did, you start to answer. And the thought disappears. You do not remember. As Valthariel speaks, there is a magic protruding from the crimson roses sewn into his armor. And it pulls at your memory. Your beginning time in this world is gone. You suddenly remember just existing.
All right. You have passed, little metal soldier. One second. You have passed my tests. I have been thoroughly enjoying myself. Proceed.
And as you start to move past him, the rest of your team follows, and he puts up a hand.
No, no, no. You did not amuse me. You all stood there, confused. Oh, pity. I can only allow the one who met my need path. This is mercy, is it not? What is your name?
My name?
Yes. It does not have to be your true name. I will not be so horrible today. But perhaps we shall meet in the future.
My name is Cludd, I think.
I see. Enjoy your passage, Cludd.
And as you walk past him, he turns back to the rest of your group and sends one last dark energy orb. And their bodies explode. Bits and pieces of metal and wire being sent across the little meadow You are in. And as you are now thinking, you see Cludd wander into a cavern with glowing mushrooms. And Cludd, remembering the runes, is talking to her friends as if they are still there, drawing the protective enchantments.
Mm-hmm.
Through the cavern, on the other side, you exit, and you see a deep valley full of a shadowed forest, dark branches and thorns and spikes growing out of it. Between you and the cliff is a grand door of silver and moonstone, a barrier which you know protects the Feywild, at least for now, and the shadow plane beyond. You input a code into a glowing panel. The door shimmers, sealing shut. A shadowy mist presses against the barrier, holding for now, but not forever. You leave. A time later, you return to this spot. The shadow mist has grown into a shadow fog, the barrier pushing onto the barrier. You know it will not hold, and you must get back. You hear a voice from the creator, George. Okay.
Hiya, Bud. Even in the dark, you know the way. The Feywild is shifting. Your mission is to navigate, protect. Remember, you are the Pathfinder. Your knowledge is the key.
And that is where we are going to end the one-on-one session.
Mm-hmm. Oh no.
Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
Good to know that after Cludd got their friends killed, they had a little bit of a schizophrenic episode, but I'm sure that's okay. Holy shit.
Everyone has
Was-
trauma.
Yeah. Was
Blood
that
is now
voice?
back in the land that their friends died in.
Yeah. Was that voice from George basically while they were in the Feywild, or kind of part of the memory.
It was part of the memory. This was something you remember George saying before you left.
Ah. Oh, the rune magic. Is there a certain spell that they do, or is there more information you can give me about that just now?
Yes, and it's something we can also talk about, but it was something I was thinking. Cludd can draw it in. It does use up a bit of, like, her energy source within her, and so I was thinking it could be like a 5 times per day kind of thing. Where if you and your group need to take a rest, you can inscribe this area to protect you all from darkness, of which you may now know as the Shadow Blade.
The shadow what, sorry?
Shadow Blade.
Shadow play. God bless. Oh. Ah, so much. This is... Oh, what? And I guess, because I didn't catch it, what was the name of the Foreign Prince?
I will type it.
Thank you.
And I mean, as you know, that this is not his true name, but it is the name he calls himself.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So, how do you feel after knowing all of this information?
Really interesting. At first I thought, oh, is this our fault for causing the Feywilds to have like the Shadow Plague? And then going through, it's kind of like, probably not. Considering we tried to help, maybe. And then,
I will say,
oh fuck.
you know, and Cludd does know this, the mission that they were set on to do in the Feywilds was completed.
At what cost? For friends.
And you may not completely understand what it did, but you're learning as time goes on. But there is one thing I will say that haunts Cludd. Cludd is all about honesty. And Cludd knows the convergence is a lie.
Oh, bro. They are all about honesty. They just need to piece it together a little bit more, perhaps.
Alright, so any final takeaway comments or anything you're thinking of sharing or not sharing with the group?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I definitely want to, have Cludd kind of act a little bit differently next session, perhaps. After, their friends all blowing up into bits right in front of them, essentially. Might mention Voltherial. You know, feel like he's a homie. He's done nothing wrong.
I mean, technically,
Cludd's friend.
Cludd is not Cludd's true name. It is a nickname.
They bonded on that, actually, right? So they're actually really, really good friends, if you think about it, in a really convoluted way.
Goodness. Is there anything Cludd would not share with the group? Or maybe not just yet.
Probably, well, obviously, definitely convergence-based stuff, right? Like the machines. Probably wouldn't mention those too much, considering there's a lot of unknown still kind of about them to her, and just, you know, it's difficult because obviously she is a really truthful person and hates lying, really. Right. So like a lot of this she'd spill, but I guess there's always the way of doing it where it's like, you know, plausible deniability, saying some things, but not saying others. Like Gale not admitting that he gave Ravenwood potion. So I think they may pick and choose some things. Like, for example, you know, if they do reveal that, oh, this is where my friends died, but wouldn't kind of explain that I did nothing to stop that from happening.
Like, didn't have much of a choice.
No, that's true. But she definitely still, I feel, hold herself to account about it. Because I guess a recent example is, you know, Gale telling Eyja about Ravenwood and Eyja not saying anything. Cludd would still feel like, you know, she's somewhat similar to blame. She was complicit in it happening, even if it meant completing the mission. You know what I mean? There's still, I guess, that trauma and guilt there.
Cludd does know that you were all set out to do a mission. Not all of you would make it, and that the mission is the most important.
Yeah. But obviously looking back on it now, when she's, you know, woken up just over 1,000 years later, completely different mindset to how, you know, she kind of was, while still retaining a lot of the same processes. It'll be an interesting thing for them to discover, though, that's for sure. And there's definitely a lot more in store in the Feywild than I thought there'd be.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will try to draw up something for the machine, because there isn't anything that I have found online that I've liked. So, but yeah, thank you so much for participating in this one-on-one. I am deeply sorry for the amount of trauma that Cludd has now been made aware of that occurred to them.
Oh, it's great.
And so I'm excited to see how this goes next session. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, next time.
What?